Welcome to English Story Cafe. Today, we will explore Train Your Brain and Mouth for English Fluency. Have you ever felt that frustrating sensation where you know exactly what you want to say in your head, but when you open your mouth, the words just stick? It is a feeling that almost every language learner knows intimately. You have studied the grammar rules, you have memorized the vocabulary lists, and you have watched hours of movies, yet when the moment comes to speak, you feel frozen. It is as if there is a wall between your brain and your mouth. Today, we are going to tear down that wall. We are going to look at English not as a subject you study in a textbook, but as a physical skill you perform, like playing the piano or playing a sport. We are going to discuss how to rewire your neural pathways and train the physical muscles of your mouth to produce English naturally, effortlessly, and fluently. Let us start by looking at what happens inside the brain. For many learners, the biggest barrier to fluency is the translation trap. When you hear a sentence in English, your brain instinctively grabs it, translates it into your native language to understand the meaning, formulates a response in your native language, and then tries to translate that response back into English. This process is exhausting. It takes too much mental energy, and more importantly, it takes too much time. By the time you have done all that mental gymnastics, the conversation has moved on. To train your brain for fluency, you must stop the translation engine. You need to build a direct highway between the concept and the English word. Think about how you see the world. When you look at a tree, you do not see the object, think of the word in your native language, and then translate it. You just know what it is. We want that same instant connection with English. A powerful way to start this training is what I call the Narrator Method. Imagine your life is a movie, and you are the voiceover artist. Throughout your day, narrate what you are doing, but do it strictly in your thoughts and strictly in English. When you wake up, think to yourself that you are stretching your arms. When you walk to the kitchen, tell yourself that you are going to make coffee. If you cannot find a specific word, do not stop to look it up immediately. Describe around it. If you forget the word for kettle, think of it as the machine that boils water. This exercise forces your brain to access English vocabulary in real time, bypassing the translation center of your brain. It is tiring at first, but like any muscle, your brain gets stronger with repetition. Now, let us move from the brain to the mouth. This is the part that is most often neglected in traditional education. We treat language as a purely intellectual activity, but speaking is a physical act. It requires the coordination of dozens of muscles in your lips, tongue, jaw, and throat. Every language has a unique sound system, and your mouth has spent your entire life mastering the gymnastics of your native tongue. When you try to speak English, you are asking those muscles to move in ways they have never moved before. If you have ever watched a baby learn to walk, you know they stumble, they fall. Their muscles simply do not know the pattern yet. The same is true for your mouth when learning English. You might struggle with the tf sound, or the difference between the v and w sounds, because your muscle memory is fighting against you. You cannot learn this by reading a book. You can only learn it by physical training. One of the most effective ways to train these muscles is a technique called shadowing. This is not just listening and repeating, it's a full-body imitation. Find a short audio clip of a native speaker whose voice you like. It could be a podcast host, a news anchor, or a character in a movie. Play a simplified sentence, pause it, and then repeat it. But here's the secret. Don't just repeat the words. Copy the emotion. Copy the melody. Copy the pauses. Copy the speed. If the speaker sounds excited, you sound excited. If they whisper, you whisper. When you do this, you're not just memorizing vocabulary, you are training your mouth to feel what English feels like. You're teaching your tongue where to sit when you make a specific sound. You are learning the rhythm of the language, which is just as important as the words themselves. English is a stress-timed language, meaning the rhythm comes from the stressed syllables, unlike many other languages. Shadowing helps you internalize this musicality, so you don't sound like a robot.
In the journey of fluency, a mistake is not a failure. It is data. It is evidence that you are pushing the boundaries of your current ability. When a child says a word incorrectly, we celebrate because they are trying. You must offer yourself that same grace. Fluency is not about perfection. It is about connection. If you wait until your grammar is perfect before you speak, you will remain silent forever. Think about the most charismatic people you know who speak English as a second language. They often make grammar mistakes. They might have strong accents, but they are fluent because they are confident. They focus on the message, not the medium. They are not monitoring every verb tense. They are looking you in the eye and trying to convey an idea. To train your brain for this, you have to practice speaking through the mistakes. When you stumble, do not stop and apologize. Correct yourself if you can, or just keep moving forward. The flow is more important than the accuracy in the beginning. Let us go deeper into the concept of thinking in English. It helps to start small. If narrating your whole day feels overwhelming, start with a single minute. Set a timer on your phone for 60 seconds. For that 1 minute, you are not allowed to think in your native language. You must brainstorm, plan, or observe the world purely in English. It will feel strange. You might feel like your personality changes slightly. That is normal. Different languages bring out different parts of our psyche. Embrace that new English-speaking version of yourself. Another powerful exercise for the brain is association chaining. Take a random English word, like ocean. Immediately think of the next English word that connects to it, perhaps blue, then deep, then fish, then boat, then travel. Do this as fast as you can. This forces your neural pathways to fire rapidly, strengthening the connections between English words without relying on your native language as a bridge. The stronger these connections become, the less you will hesitate when speaking in a real conversation. We must also talk about the importance of exaggeration. When you are training your mouth, you need to exaggerate the sounds. In your native language, you likely speak with a relaxed mouth because you have mastered the efficiency of those movements. In English, you need to open your mouth wider, move your tongue more deliberately, and articulate clearly. It might feel silly, like you are acting on a stage, but this exaggeration is necessary to build the muscle memory. Over time, the movements will become subtle and natural, but in the training phase, you must push the physical limits. Read out loud. This is different from speaking in a conversation because you do not have the pressure of thinking about what to say. You only have to focus on how to say it. Take a paragraph from a book or a news article and read it out loud to yourself. Record your voice. Listening to your own voice can be painful at first, but it is the honest feedback you need. You will hear where your rhythm breaks, where your pronunciation slips, and where you sound uncertain. Compare your recording to a native speaker and notice the differences. This is not to make you feel bad, but to give you a target to aim for. Fluency is also about learning chunks of language, not just isolated words. Native speakers rarely construct sentences word by word. They use prefabricated blocks of language. Phrases like, "to be honest with you," or "at the end of the day," or "I was wondering if," are stored in the brain as single units. When you learn these chunks, your brain has to do less work. You are not assembling a puzzle from 1,000 tiny pieces. You are putting together 4 or 5 large pieces. This increases your speaking speed and gives you time to think about the next part of your sentence. Let us return to the idea of immersion. You cannot train your brain if you only expose it to English for 30 minutes a day. You need to create an English bubble around you. Change the language settings on your phone. Watch movies without subtitles or with English subtitles only. Listen to English radio while you cook or drive. The goal is to saturate your brain with the sounds and structures of the language so that it becomes the background noise of your life. When your brain hears English constantly, it starts to recognize patterns subconsciously. You will find yourself knowing that a sentence sounds wrong, even if you can't explain the grammar rule behind it. That is the intuition of a fluent speaker.
There is a concept in psychology called the plateau. You will reach a point where you feel like you are not improving. You are putting in the work, but you feel stuck at the same level. This is actually a good sign. It means your brain is consolidating what you have learned. It is organizing the massive amount of data you have fed it. Do not quit during the plateau. This is where the deep wiring happens. Keep talking, keep shadowing, keep listening. Suddenly, one day, you will realize that the conversation you just had was effortless. You will realize you did not translate a single word. Recall that language is a social tool. We learn it to connect with others. If you can find a speaking partner, that is gold. But if you cannot, talk to yourself. Talk to your pets. Talk to the mirror. The goal is to get comfortable with the sound of your own voice speaking English. Many people are silent because they feel their English voice does not sound like them. It sounds higher or deeper or less intelligent. By speaking constantly, even when alone, you integrate this new voice into your identity. You accept that this English-speaking person is also you. As we move toward the final stages of our exploration today, I want you to visualize your success. Athletes visualize their races before they run them. You should visualize your conversations. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a situation, ordering food, leading a meeting, chatting at a party. See yourself speaking calmly. Feel the words flowing smoothly. Imagine the positive reaction of the listener. This visualization primes your brain for success. It reduces the anxiety when the real situation occurs because in your mind you have already been there. You have already succeeded. Remember that fluency is a journey of a million small steps.
It is not a destination where you arrive and stop. Even native speakers are constantly learning new words and refining how they express themselves. You are simply joining a global community of communicators. Do not compare your Chapter 5 to someone else's Chapter 20. Your journey is unique. Every time you struggle to find a word, you are learning. Every time you stumble over a pronunciation, you are training. Every time you feel that frustration, it means you are pushing against the wall, and eventually that wall will crumble. To summarize our session today, remember these key pillars. First, stop translating and start narrating your life directly in English to build the neural highways. Second, treat your mouth like a gym. Use shadowing and exaggeration to build muscle memory. Third, learn in chunks rather than isolated words to speed up your processing. And finally, be kind to yourself. Embrace the mistakes as necessary steps on the path to mastery. You have everything you need right now. You have a brain capable of incredible plasticity. You have a voice that deserves to be heard. The English language is not a fortress to be conquered. It is a garden to be tended. It requires patience, consistency, and a little bit of sunshine every day. So as you go about your day today, look at the world with new eyes. Name the things you see in English. Whisper a few sentences to yourself. Feel the rhythm of the words in your mouth. You are training your brain and your mouth moment by moment to align with your thoughts. Thank you for joining me at the English Story Cafe. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember that your voice matters in any language. Until next time, keep your story going.